Hi, welcome to episode 101 of the Passionate Spinner podcast. My name is Tracy. You can find me as Schnüffeltier on Ravelry and Instagram. There's a Ravelry group for the podcast. Please come over, join. I do put up some links to the things I talk about over there. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. I have a lot to talk about today because my last podcast was 2.5 weeks ago and I was very productive in those 2.5 weeks. So there's lots and lots of stuff. So first off, what I'm wearing is also my knitting in the past. It is the Imogen tee. Looks like this. I think it turned out wonderful. It's just plain stockinette in the back. The pattern is by Carrie Bostic Hogue, and it is supposed to be a bottom-up, in the round raglan, where it's showing everything for a yoke. And I didn't want to do that, so what I did instead was I used my own top-down raglan pattern that I put together using the Flex Light and the Ravello pattern by Isabel Kremer and Tinker Knits. And I just morphed those two patterns into one pattern for myself. And I have it here because I'm already using it again. I put it on 2 pages, printed it on A5, so it's small, and I had it laminated. And this is my go-to pattern for fingering weight sweaters when I'm knitting them top down. So this is what I did. I used the pattern that I wrote and just popped on the lace panel, and it is upside down because, I knitted the wrong side. But I decided not to change it, but just go with it, and I actually like it better this way. I'm really happy with how it turned out. So yeah, I'm super happy with this. It's very soft. It's very, very nice to wear. It's very warm. I used Giddy Aunt yarns, and I did not bring the ball bands because I think I threw them out already. I bought the yarn at Woolen, so this is one of the newest yarns I had in my stash, and I already used up. And this is what I had left. I had 2 skeins, and this is the leftovers. I did alternate the skeins all the way, except for the bottom hem and the sleeve hems, because for those 6 rounds, or what did I do? I did 3 ridges and then I bound off, so I decided not to attach 2 skeins. So this is why I have one small and one bigger left over, but that just shows that I absolutely can knit myself something wearable out of 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn, which is good. And yeah, I'm gonna stand up again because I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's great and it looks good, and it's blue and I don't have blue things, so I'm just really happy with it. I think it turned out nice. I used a US 5, a 3.75 millimeter needle. It's what the pattern called for, and the pattern does not call for different size of needle for the hem. So I did use my my US 5 for this one here in the top where it started. But for the sleeves and the bottom, I went down to US 3, a 3.25 millimeter needle, because I wanted it to not flop, which it likes to do. So yeah, this is my FO. This is also the main thing I worked on. So I do not have a lot for knitting in the present. I only have 2 projects. The first one is my granny stripe blanket. It's in this large piddle loop wedge that I've had forever. This is the next mini that will go in because I have warmed it and it's ready to go. Okay. So I put in a marker where I stopped, or where I showed it last time. It was in this pink stripe here. This is where I was last time, here, the pink. So I did almost double my blanket in length. This is what it looks like so far. I kind of lost steam already on it, so I didn't crochet in the last week, I would say. But yeah, this is going to be an ongoing project for the next 5 years, probably. So I'm not in a hurry to finish it. It's going to get done whenever it gets done. So yeah, this is the granny stripe blanket. I'm using the pattern by Attic 24 that everyone uses. So if you want to check that pattern out, just go over and look at that. It's super simple. It's free pattern because really, if anyone charged for a pattern like that, that would be kind of not nice. And then the other thing, I started a new sweater. It is in this wonderful bag that I bought at Primark. I know, but it is unicorns and it's so cute. So I bought it. So in here I have my generic pattern and 2 skeins of yarn and a started sweater. So the yarn that I'm using is Handgefärbt. She was one of the large hand dyers in Germany, but she stopped dyeing, I would say like 5 years ago, probably more. So this has been in my stash for quite a while. And I was looking for something completely different, and I happened upon these 2 skeins of yarn. And I somehow had the idea that they would work together. So I made them work. As you can see, it's super glittery. It's not focusing, of course it's not. Yeah, I had only 2 skeins. So what I wanted to do for this sweater here is make it cropped. So at least that much shorter than the Imogen that I'm wearing, so I can have sleeves that go down to the elbow. Because I want to have kind of a vintage look to it, so if I wear it with high-waisted pants or a high-waisted skirt, it would give me that vintage vibe. And yeah, I started on Thursday. It's Monday today, and I couldn't stop. It is so much fun. Stripes, it's the stripes. You know, you just want to make one more stripe, just one more stripe. So I have separated for the sleeves quite a while ago, and I have that much done after separating. But yeah, oh, this is beautiful. It's very much my colors, which is good. And I'm cutting my head off, which is not so good. Maybe I should try to do this a bit. Is that better? Yeah. So this is it. It's my new sweater. I hope it will be done next week because I just cannot stop. I can't stop knitting. So yeah, I'm doing 6 row stripes, and I did short rows for the neckline, as you can see here, to make it fit better, which is also what I did with this, and it's what I wrote down in my pattern. So yeah, I love it. The only problem is that the super glitter that's in this yarn is kind of scratchy. So this is not super soft, so I have to wear like a tank top underneath, which is fine. I am alternating, or I started the round in the middle of the back, and I am not doing chocolate stripes, but to be honest, I don't think that it is super visible. So yeah, I'm so happy with this. I don't want to stop. It's the perfect sweater. So what I plan on doing is, as I want to use up both of these as far as possible, but I also want to have the ribbing in the orange. I kind of am thinking about doing a wide ribbing in the bottom to nip in at the waist. So I plan, my thoughts are, I'm going to do the ribbing in the stripes and only, you know, start in the purple, do the orange, do another purple, and then do a double wide orange. So I have the, you know, the orange hem, but more of the ribbing. So it just sucks it in a bit on my smallest point, and that will give me a nice silhouette. So we'll see. We will see if that works out. I am using Lykke needles, and I have to say I started this sweater on the Caspians because I had them attached to a short cable. So I used that one, and as I didn't want to fuss around, I just knit everything onto the Lykke needles, which had a larger cable on when I got too crammed. But these needles are so much better than these, I have to say. It's my opinion. I like those way better. These, not so special, but yeah. So this sweater, I hope it's going to be done next time I talk to you, because it is so much fun. I just don't want to stop. So it's very different from what I'm wearing color-wise. But that's a good thing because, you know, if I had everything in the same color, that would be kind of boring. So, yeah. My sweater. I don't have a name for it because it's just a sweater with no pattern to it. So, okay, for knitting in the future, I want to start a sweater. And as my husband can hear me right now, I can't tell you which one it is, but it's the one that I want to make for him and that I talked about before. So I really should start that because August is coming close and I want to have it done for our anniversary, which is on August 14th. So I really should get started. Now for spinning, I have two things for spinning. I finished one skein of yarn. I showed the bobbins last week. This is the yarn that I spun from fiber that my friend Sandra from Kunte Bunte Wolle dyed. It's a BFL and super bright nylon blend, and it's gorgeous. It turned out so nice. Do you like my polish? Quite happy with it. So yeah, this is my yarn. It's a worsted weight. I ended up with, let me show this to you while I talk. I ended up with 189 meters, that's 207 yards, and it's 130 grams of this wonderful worsted weight yarn. I'm not sure yet what I will do with it, but I think it will make a wonderful hat, probably. So we'll see. It will be used someday. And then I have another whip for spinning, and that is the Combo Spin swap that I spun. And the bobbins ended up looking quite similar, although I did spin them up very differently. So I'm not sure. Probably the first 20 meters will be exactly the same and then it's going to go crazy. So this is it. I received the fiber as a gift from an anonymous source. I have no idea who included me in the swap, but yeah, I have the fiber spun up. I just need to ply. I'm going to apply it on my mini spinner and we'll show it to you next week. It's definitely going to be a worsted weight, which is good. I like worsted weight yarn. So yeah, these are done. I spun them on my Michi von Schwarzenstein, which is a German handmade wheel that I love. I love the Michi. It's a wonderful wheel. If you are in Germany and you're in need of a spinning wheel, that's a very good one. He does not ship outside Germany. So if you are outside of Germany and you want that spinning wheel, you have to find a way to get it. Maybe from a D-stash or something. So for new stuff, I only have 2 skeins of yarn. I am in the Hedgehog Fibers Potluck Club. And I should have 3 skeins to show. And I did receive 3 skeins, but one of them was so not my colors that I already gave it away to a friend of mine. It was royal blue, midnight blue, a royal purple, and a shrieking pink. And yeah, no, not for me. So that's gone. But that one was the strong sock base. And I ended up with these 2 skeins. And as it's the Potluck Club, you know, no one else will have these. So here they are. These are my 2 skeins. The top one is Twist Sock. That's a BFL and nylon blend. And the bottom one is DK weight. I am super happy with these. No idea what I'm going to do with them yet, but I will find something. I'm thinking about doing a cowl maybe with this one. And this one will be definitely something around the neck because this is very good for me. So yeah, I'm super happy. They're both potlucks, so they don't have a colorway name. And I will get 2 more shipments of this club. So that was my reward for finishing the custom spin. So these 2 are already here. That's also everything I have for new stuff. For reading, listening, watching. I finally started reading a new book. And it is called Stitched Up, the Anti-Capitalist Book of Fashion by Tansy Hoskins. It's a very interesting read, but it's very brainy. You know, I have to really think about it because this is an adult nonfiction book. So it uses a lot of words I have never heard before. Because I'm not English, you know, not at all. So yeah, it's interesting. It's really interesting. I enjoy it a lot, but I have to read very slowly and just really, you know, think it through. And also, just to show you, it's teeny tiny, teeny tiny. It's gonna take a bit, but I'm that foreign, as you can see. I enjoy it. I'm very glad I bought this book. It's already opening my eyes to a lot of things, and I'm already on only on page 50. So wonderful, wonderful book if you are interested in slow fashion, fast fashion, the evolution of fashion, how things became the way they are today. This is a wonderful book. So for what was that? That was reading, listening. I finished the Harry Potter series in English, narrated by Stephen Fry. I only had the maybe half of the last book to go when I last talked to you, and I finished that. And then I immediately started a new series, which is the Shadow Falls Camp series by no idea. Who wrote those books? I don't know. I read them and I listened to the audiobooks before, so they are wonderful. They're a YA series. Mystery, of course, you know, because that's what I enjoy. And I finished the first book and I'm on the second book right now. I am doing these in German because I don't have them in English, but I do have them in German, and I don't want to get them in English just so I have it. I don't know. So yeah, I finished the first one and I am listening to the second one right now. For watching, I watched stuff. I watched The Quest season 3, and as my friend Chilean and myself found out, or more Chilean than me, this is another example of Germany being weird, because The Quest is English. You know, this is an English title. But The Quest is called The Librarians in America and England, because that's the original title. I think, one idea of why they changed it could be that quest is so much easier to say than librarians, because that's kind of a hard word to say if you're not English. So that could be an idea. But yeah, I watched The Quest season 3, and these seasons only have between 10 and 12 episodes, so you can watch them in a day, I heard. So yeah, season 3 done. I have season 4 upstairs ready to go, and I really enjoy that. I just really do. And then I watched Kingsman, which was one of my favorite movies because I love action movies. Not a rom-com girl at all. So yeah, I watched this one because I love it and it's fun. Now the big part for today's episode, and tea first. I did sewing. I did some sewing. Lots of sewing. So I'm gonna show you each and every piece because I want to, and because I made these things. And I'm very proud of myself for making them. So if you're not interested in sewing, sorry. Okay, first up. First thing I made was this t-shirt. It is made from leftover pieces of fabric. I have made a hoodie, the strawberry hoodie, out of this fabric here. It's leftovers. I've made a t-shirt out of this fabric, and I've made a different t-shirt out of this fabric. So I decided to use them together in a t-shirt from the current issue of October magazine. It looks like this, or like this, because they do kind of switcheroos. And this is a pattern that's supposed to be for sport. I don't do sport. So this is the t-shirt that I made. And the other part is a leggings with an attached skirt. But yeah, this is the t-shirt here. The only thing I changed, as you can see, they used jersey strips for the binding of the armhole and neckline. And I decided not to do that because I just didn't like the look of that. So yeah, here it is. It's my t-shirt. I, like always, changed up sizes quite a bit. I started with a smaller size for the armhole and neck hole and everything. So this piece basically is a different size than these pieces are. And I went out for the love handles, so they have enough room. first things, no, it's the first thing I made. I put it together on the serger, on my overlocker, and then I decided that I didn't want to twin needle because I just was too lazy, and I did this decorative stitch. Oh wait, I'm going to show it on the black because that's easier. So I used this fake overlock stitch on my sewing machine, and I think it turned out quite nice. So this is how I finished the edges for this one. So first, then I decided, I showed you last time that I wanted to make pants, and I did. I'm gonna show them later, but I was too scared to start them, so I procrastinated by doing a lot of other things first. So after I finished the top, I decided I wanted to make a dress. And the problem with the dress is it's in a Simplicity magazine, which is a German thing that you cannot have anywhere else, I think, which is just a combination of a lot of different Simplicity patterns. So this pattern is available as a normal pattern, you know, and I have no idea what number it is because it doesn't tell you. So this is what the pattern page looks like. And I liked that top, but I think that the fabric they used is too stiff, so it looks kind of a bit uncomfortable. But I really liked the dress version here. So the problem with this is that it's not on a real person, it's just a drawing. So I decided to go for it anyways. And I ended up with a dress. The fabric is fabric that my husband bought in India. It's super nice, very drapey, very flowy, very, very nice to wear. What I did not do, and I didn't really look at the picture all that much, because if I had, I would have seen that it is super short. And I did not measure my pattern pieces. I just thought, yeah, it's going to be fine. And it barely goes to half of my thigh. I posted pictures of me wearing it just as it is with some pumps, or is it a pump? You know, a high heel shoe. And I got a lot of compliments from people saying that it looks amazing and that I can totally wear it that way. I'm not sure if I ever would. I don't know. So I got some white leggings to go underneath just to be on the safe side. So this was super, super easy to make. It has this belt that is just attached in the side seam. You know, there's nothing fancy here. What I did for this is I did French seams for the first time. So they turned out quite big and awful, to be honest. But I thought with this super thin fabric, because this is quite the thin fabric, you know, it's not a big heavy fabric. So yeah, this is my French seam here. It's not good, but it is, and it works. So the pattern calls for bias binding for the neckline, and I did that, and I think that turned out quite nice because it has this slight V in the back. It's round in the front and a slight V in the back, but I can also wear it the other way around because the belt is just attached in the side seam, so it doesn't really matter, which is a nice idea. The sleeves have a real, just a normal hem, like you would do, you know, turn in and sew it down. And then, because this is so short already, I didn't want to do the normal hem for the bottom because that would mean that I would have lost that much of fabric. So what I did is I checked my feet for my sewing machine and I found this narrow hem foot. And I tried it and I think it turned out quite nice. So this is the inside and that's the outside. I think it turned out really nice. It's the first time I did it. And I'm definitely going to do it again because it's super easy. To have to be slow and careful, and then it will work. So here it is, my dress that I'm going to wear with some leggings because I'm not comfortable enough showing my not so thin thighs. So that's the second thing I made. And then I made the pants, but I'm going to show them last because I'm proudest of those. And then I decided, after the pants were done, that I needed a palette cleanser, something fast, easy, simple, and I have no idea. I think it should be somewhere back here. Yes, it is. So, and I do know the pattern for that one. So I made this one here, another not modeled piece of garment. And this full collection here is New Look pattern 6402. Because, you know, I have a wonderful friend, and the Stitchionista sometimes takes these magazines with her and writes down pattern numbers. I'm way too lazy to do that. So yeah, that's the one on the top, the stripy one. Mine is also stripy, but there's a difference. So here it is. Oh shit. Oh well. My dress just dropped to the floor. So here it is, my finished top. The sleeves are a bit shorter than they should be because I didn't have more fabric, which is fine. But also I had to attach a neckband, and that is not what it's supposed to have. So I went for a size M, which is, you know, realistic. The neck opening was so wide without the neckband, and I should have had turned it in, you know, and do a twin needle hem, that it almost dropped off my shoulders. So I decided that I absolutely didn't want that, and attached this strip of fabric as a binding for the neck. It's a bit floppy, but I'm okay with that. I'm going to alter the pattern a bit because I really like the neckline on this. And yeah, it's stripes, and I'm going to show you. I'm really proud of this, I have to say, because there is a seam in the center back. Can you see? It's a bit wobbly down here, but you know, considering that there is a seam there, I'm really proud of it. I think it turned out quite nice. Here you can see it. So that's the center back. I'm going to take it off because I'm going to show you all of them. Then I have the side seams. They turned out quite well as well. And also the seam on the sleeves turned out really good. I mean, it's not perfect, but you know, it's good. I think it's good. So I made this on Friday morning, and I wore it to knit club in the afternoon. And I just, you know, I have several knit groups where I go to. There's the one that knits in my house, and there's the one in the local cafe. And the local cafe people are older people. They don't really know that Ravelry exists. Hand-dyed yarn was new to them until they met me. But they make beautiful things, and they're so much fun. So I made this shirt, and I said, look what I made today. And one of the girls, like way over 60, said to me, oh, you're too lazy to wash, so now have to make new things. I said, yes, that's exactly what it is. Laundry sucks. So I make new stuff. And it was a joke, and I got it. You know, it was very funny. So yes, I made this, and I wore it with the jacket, the kimono style jacket that I made last year with the bird cages on. And that was not the best idea. That clashed a bit, but oh well. Always smarter afterwards, aren't we? So that was my palette cleanser. And then I also made 2 pairs of underwear, because when you make things, Marlene, I'm gonna have to get my dress because my cat just arrived and he loves lying on top of things that I make for myself. So, okay. I made 2 pairs of underwear because when you cut a t-shirt or a dress or whatever, you always have leftovers. And you know, bigger pieces of leftovers you can use for something. And I decided to try out the Acacia pattern by Megan Nielsen. It looks like this. Marlene, help. It is a free pattern when you are a subscriber to her newsletter. Otherwise, it's paid for, and I think it's $9 Australian or something like that. So I am a newsletter person because I honestly didn't want to pay $9 for an underpants pattern. So, sorry. I went for size extra large because I have a big butt. And I did make them 2 centimeters, almost an inch higher. And here they are. This is how they turned out. It's leftover fabric. And I'm quite happy with them. That's the back. And I am going to change one thing about how she makes them, because Cheetah is a super easy way with attaching the gusset, but it also means that you have two seams on top of each other. And with the other pattern that I made and that I had made before, you only have one seam. It's a bit more, you have to think a bit more, but it's in the end less bulky. So that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, that's the acacia pattern. I really like the way she attaches the elastic, because this is just normal elastic. I'm going to show it to you here. It's normal elastic that you sew onto the wrong side of the fabric, and then you kind of just flip it over and seam it down with a zigzag stitch on your normal sewing machine. So everything of this on these is done with the serger, except for the last zigzag stitching to secure the elastic. So that's the first one. And then I decided, because this pattern is made of one front piece, one back piece, and the gusset. And you know, the back piece, big butt, big piece of fabric. And I wanted to have a different pattern for smaller pieces of fabric that I still could use up. And I decided to go with a pattern that I have made before, and I showed it about a year ago. It's from this book here. It's called Schöne Wäsche nähen von Katrin Rechtenwald. And I have made the Matilda pants last year. That's not them. That's them. It's this pattern here. I have made these last year, and they were, I'm losing the pattern sheets. I made them last year, and I thought that they were super tiny. I mean, they fit all the way around, but the rise was so low. It's like, okay, not really what I wanted. So what I did, as this is a German book, there's no seam allowances included in the pattern. So what I did, I used my traced pattern. I put it on a piece of paper, traced it all the way around, added on the seam allowance, and put up the rise by 5 centimeters. That's 2 inches. Made it 2 inches higher. And then I cut all the way around, because this way I just have to put the pattern piece on my fabric and I see if it's enough. And I just can cut around the fabric, the paper. So I made those also leftover fabric. As you can see, I already used up the leftovers from my shirt. And now I'm really happy with this. And as you can see, you use one back middle piece, a side piece, another side piece, a front piece, and the gusset. So I can use smaller pieces for this pattern, can use the larger pieces for the acacia pattern, and just, you know, use up my leftovers. Because I don't want to throw these away, and they are mostly too small to use for anything else. So I now have 2 patterns for underwear that I can do. I'm now looking for a hipster style pattern. So if you have a good pattern for a hipster, because I really like those, let me know. I'd love to try it, because having a third go-to pattern would be a good thing, I think. So, and now for the big thing. I made pants, and I'm very proud of them. So the pattern is from Nähtrends 0518. It's issue number 5 from this year. And it's the very first pattern in here. And it looks like this. So these are the original pants. They are a design from Carolina Herrera. I'm not sure how to say it. But this was on the runway last year, I think. Or spring season. Because I checked on her Instagram. So these are the original pants. As you can see, they should have been super wide-legged all the way down. But I'm not stick thin, so they are not that wide-legged all the way down, but I'm still quite happy with them. So we have the wide neck waistband. What I did not do was the buttons down here, because this is a normal fly, you know, and they were just decorative buttons. And it works for her because, you know, it's one color denim with the multicolored top stitching and the multicolored buttons. But my pants are, you know, I just thought that this would be too much. So what I did is I used stretch denim. First of all, they didn't. Pattern does not call for stretch denim. I use stretch denim. The pattern goes up to a European size 46, which is a size larger than I need when I buy a pair of pants, But when I sew a pair of pants, it's one size too small because I have no idea why, but that is the way it is. So I had to enlarge the pattern, and I used the pant sloper that I made for myself with the class. There's a craftsy class on making your own pant sloper, and I did that when they had the watch everything for free for a weekend thing. So I did make one, and now I know that that sloper is perfect. So I can highly recommend that class. Everything I used for these pants are from my stash, and I'm just happy that everything worked out the way it did. So let's start. Waistband. I wore these already. So what you are not able to tell from the pictures, but what makes me super proud and what is also in the pattern, there's this waistband has a very weird construction. It goes in and out, and I just thought that that's kind of, you know, wrong in the first place, but I just went with it and did it, and it fits so well. But there are like two-way darts where it's put together, and it looks very wonky and very wobbly when you do it, but in the end it's perfect. And the seams for the waistband go perfectly on top of the darts of the pants. Can you see that there is basically one stitch line down here, both on both fronts and also on the back. Can you see? It's perfect. It just flows down. So that made me very proud. Then I did a front fly for the pants, and of course there's a zipper in here. I decided to not do the stitching around here in the contrast color because I didn't want to showcase that part of the jean. So I didn't. I just top stitched it down with my blue thread. I did do the decorative stitching on my machine, and I just looked at my machine stitches, and I tried out 3 different ones, and I showed them to my husband, and we both thought that this one would be best. So I went with this floral leafy print that didn't turn out perfect, but it's okay because, you know, it's on top of the dart, and there's just so many layers that the needle has to go through on one side, because you always press your darts to one side. And the way I learned it is in the front pant, you press the dart to the outside seam, to the side seam, and on the back, you press it towards the center seam. So that was a bit harder to do. I top stitched with yellow thread all around the waistband. I did do this, I don't know the English word. The German word is Biese. I don't know the English one, I'm sorry. But you just basically fold your pant leg in half, press it down really well, and then you top stitch a small seam. And that will just stand like that. And I did that all the way down. I did that in yellow as well. So for the bottom of the pants, I used this contrast fabric. The normal pattern has just 2 different colors of denim. So I used this fabric because I had it, and I thought it would be just a fun pairing to go with it. And what I had to do, and I'm not super happy with the stitching line here, but I didn't want to do it by hand, to be honest. What the pattern calls for, and what cannot work looking at this, you cut this by a certain size, and then the pattern says to fold it in half and just stitch in the ditch. If I had folded this in half, my pants would be not near my my ankles. It would be way higher, and also this would be. So these pieces have the wrong measurement, I think. So yeah, that's what I did for this. And for the pockets, for the inside pockets, I decided to go with a contrast fabric just to reduce some bulk. And I went with this yellow fabric with the small flowers on to keep with the flowery theme of the pants. And I'm just so very proud of it. I overlocked all the single pattern pieces before I started sewing it together, and I'm really happy with it. There's one thing that I'm not super happy about, but also I just realized it. This person has the exact same problem. Can you see this? This pucker on the crotch line here? I have that too. So yeah, the pattern has it. It's not my fault. That's what I'm gonna go with. So yeah, these fit like a glove. They make a very nice butt, I have to say. They do fit very well, and I wore them out for when I met up with some friends. We did some fabric shopping and we had breakfast together, and I wore this with my yellow Estee top. And as these go up to my waist and the Estee just goes a teeny bit below the waist, it looked very cute, I think. I have pictures of me in this outfit up on my Instagram if you want to see. I'm very proud of them. They're not super perfect because of the weird pucker that I got here that basically looks like this. But it's just, you know, there's too much fabric here and I don't know how to get rid of it without ruining everything. So I'm just going to leave it as is. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about them. The fabric, I don't know. I think I bought it from PassioKnit. This one here is from Glaser. It was a leftover piece and I had enough to cut the everything out and had like an inch left of the fabric all the way around. I used up every last bit of this fabric. That's why I only have a centimeter seam allowance, which is super tiny for a pair of pants. You know, you should go with 2. I have 1 because I didn't have more fabric, and I just had enough fabric to cut the pants, the pockets. So I used up every fabric piece that I had. The fabric, the buttons my husband bought in Singapore, and the zipper, I have no idea. I think I bought it at Glaser. It's not a real pants zipper, which might come back to bite me in the butt. But for now, I'm very happy with it. And to be honest, if that zipper ever breaks, I will give these to a professional to alter. Put in a new zip. So yeah, that's the big thing that I made. I made pants and they fit. Yes. I'm really proud of that, I have to say. They turned out nice. And also I like that it's a designer piece, you know, this one here is. But I was able to recreate it for my own liking, the way I would wear them. I would wear these, but they would never be big enough to fit me. So that's what I like about sewing. You know, I can look at things that are super in right now, or look at, wasn't it Paris Fashion Week this week? I can look at things that designers made and I can find a pattern and make things that are similar to those things, but in my style. That's why I love sewing so much. So yeah, that is the last thing that I made. I have 2 plans that I'm going to show for sewing. First off, I am going to make something from the newest edition of Buddha magazine. It's number 7, 2018. It looks like this. I rarely get one of these because my best friend has a subscription to the magazine because it's very much her style, but it's not that much my style because this is a lot of office clothing and, you know, like grown-up clothes, I think. And I'm not that grown-up. So I got this magazine because there's 3 or 4 things in here that I really like. And I'm going to make one right away. And it is going to be this one here. It's a jersey top with the knot sleeve detail. I'm going to change the back neckline because this is going to slide off. Can you see? That's never going to work. So I'm going to change that up to be super, super high compared to this. And I'm going to make it with this fabric because we are invited to a garden party wedding thing. The wedding already happened. You know, it's just a party for friends and there's no dress code, and the bride and groom will be there in jeans and t-shirt. So I can be there in jeans and t-shirt. So I decided to wear a normal pair of jeans, the shirt out of this fabric because I think that is super cute, and some red shoes. I have some very nice red pumps with a small heel because I can't wear in high-heeled shoes. I can walk and I can talk either. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen. I got this fabric when I went out for breakfast with my friends this week. So it's super new, super fresh, washed and ready to go. And the other thing I want to make is this skirt. It's the Majordis by Kibadu. She's a German indie pattern maker. Her patterns do not come in English. And I'm going to make this skirt out of a yellow twill denim kind of. It's kind of a denim, kind of not. I'm not sure what this fabric is called, but it's a non-stretch pant fabric. And I think that this skirt will look awesome with this t-shirt. Don't you think? I think this is going to be a very nice combo. So that's what I want to do. I want to make that skirt specifically to go with this t-shirt and have a me-made outfit that I can wear out and about. That's my plans for sewing for this week. And also I have 2 more pairs of undergarment or underpants already cut out, one in each of these 2 styles that I showed before. So that's on the horizon. So everything else, we cannot do a VKN until July 28th because our weekends are crazy busy for the next 4 weeks. I'm very sad about this. We should have had one last Saturday and I couldn't get it done. It just wasn't possible. And it's not going to be possible for the next 4 weeks either. So July 28th is going to be our next VKN. I know it's a very long time, but it's just, it's not happening otherwise. So, okay, now the last thing I wanted to talk about. As you just saw, I was very productive in the last 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks almost. And I get a lot of people on Instagram that say, "Oh, you're so productive, you get so much stuff done." And I do. I do. I do get a lot of stuff done. But for me, it's kind of an escape because I'm still, was hat jetzt du vor? My cat is crazy. I'm still very unhappy and just not, I'm not happy with myself, you know, with who I am, with what I look like and everything. So I keep myself busy, and that is kind of an escape for me. So I do not have to think about what I could change and want to change about myself and about my appearance and everything. So it is nice to get a lot of things done. It feels great to get a lot of things done and it makes me happy. But on the other hand, I'm not sure if that's a good way of doing things, you know, because I'm just so, I just feel like shit and I'd love to not do that. So I asked about some book recommendations on Instagram and I bought some books that I want to read and just wanted to say that because, you know, the internet is a place where everything seems so great all the time, unless you go on Twitter, because Twitter is like not nice. But you can show a reality on Instagram or YouTube or anywhere that is not a reality. And I don't like that. If you have been here before, you know that I don't like that. I like honesty and I like realness. Is that a word? Is realness a word? So yeah, that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. I get a lot of stuff done, but I get it done so I don't have to think about myself, which is not good. But yeah, I'm gonna continue the way I'm doing things right now for a while because I have to figure out what I really want. And I just don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna stop now because this is going to get dark otherwise. No, not that dark, but just sad. And I don't want to be sad. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to go downstairs to my room. I'm going to sew a little bit. It's like I said, I have already things cut out. And yeah, that's what I'll do. I hope you all have a wonderful time. I hope I will be able to do this again next week, but I always say that and it never happens. So I'm going to see you within the next 1 or 2 weeks. I hope you all have a wonderful time. Enjoy everything you do. And until next time, bye.